All right. So Wes, here's a question for you.
Yeah. Are we going to introduce are we on
If
live or?
you're micromanaging, you're
Yeah.
not leading, you're babysitting. That's a statement. If you're micromanaging, you're not leading, you're babysitting. What are your thoughts? No thoughts.
Yeah, I do. I do have thoughts. Sometimes initially at the beginning, a little micromanaging is okay. I think, square people away, but then you do got to get hands off.
Okay.
So,
So you're saying in micromanaging in moderation.
well, at least until whoever the employees, has a handle of the job and understands the processes and things like that. So maybe you wouldn't call that micromanaging. Maybe you would call that training.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't like to micromanage. I don't believe in it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
We just identified
absolutely.
something. We gave it a different names. We gave it teaching or onboarding. Maybe you could call it. We won't call it micromanaging, but that's what I was referring to is, maybe onboarding and making sure that they understand the processes that may be in place already. And then I don't want to micromanage.
Yeah, because I think there's a stat that says that 85% of employees think that micromanaging kills morale and things like that, right? It costs companies tons of money. I don't know if I agree. It just depends on what. Yeah, if it's micromanaging in the sense of overbearing, I think yeah, any type of overbearing leadership is overbearing. You know what I mean? It's not good. So.
Well, you know what? I tried to set my systems up where my answers are coming from the numbers if the gentleman is doing or the gentlewoman is doing the work. If you don't micromanage the cat's away, the mice will play. But the numbers tell me all the story and tells me when I have to go and inject in and get in there, maybe help coach or something else. But I don't want to be micromanaged, and I try not to. I want my people to grow, become leaders themselves, make decisions, even if it's wrong, run with it, play it out to the end and learn from it if it fails. Otherwise, you'll know that you'll learn what mistakes you made in making that decision next time. And maybe, it's a multi decision process. And maybe they'll know where they made their mistakes and learn from it for the future. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
What'd you think of that answer? Did it work?
No, it didn't work. That's your answer. It's supposed to be your answer. It's not supposed to be the answer,
No, I know
right? We
that's my
talk about
answer. And
that.
what's your opinion? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's this is a topic that Keegan wanted to talk a little bit about because it was one of his classes, leadership something whatever, that was talking about this and so, he asked, "What do you think about that? How that has impacted your life as a business owner?" When I think about how you go about your business, I think there are periods that you are way more involved and there are periods that you are way more hands off. I think the question that I would be curious is, when do you make the decision, right? What makes you decide, oh, I'm going to be way more involved in this specific project, in this specific effort, or even department versus not?
Yeah, and that answer comes from the numbers, the results of data that has been captured, letting me know their sales are down or why are their sales down? The program that they just injected doesn't seem to be working and we're getting the results. So maybe I'll research why aren't we getting results on that? Do we need to go to a different process? Is there something in the process that we have that is cutting us short from success? And then I'll discuss it with the guy who's running that division and we'll talk it out. I'm not going in there making a say, well, do this. And then when you get done with that, you do that. I'm not doing that. I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
is this the right decision? I mean, I'll give you an example. We're trying something right now. We're trying to do a call center. And the call center, I think I want to try to put a call center in place. Well, we got numbers. It was like $1,200 for 2 weeks, or $1,200.
What?
Yeah, it was like $1,200 for 2 weeks, and they would guarantee us three leads a day. And they were making up to four.
Gosh. Okay. So you're talking about an outbound call center so
Yeah,
you can get some leads. Okay, I
yeah.
understand now. Okay. So
So
you're
so
doing a BPO. So, okay.
right. Well, we tried going with a foreign country with them doing the call center, like Philippines. We used one of their, but and then we got to interview the guy that we wanted to do it, or the woman that we wanted to do it. And then we role played, and I had to show them how I want it expressed, how it should be read correctly, with putting emphasis in different areas. But we picked one that had the most or the least amount of accent to try this. Having a person without an accent, let's say an American, doing it, the cost jumped up to $3,000. So I thought I'd try this first for 2 weeks. If it don't work, I may have to throw out the $3,000 to get an American to do it, or not an American, one with no accent, I guess, put it that way. Thoughts? You there? So that's what we did. Hello, is someone here? You there? Hello? Can you hear?
Yeah, it looks like Jay was a little bit frozen, but he's back now, it sounds like.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so now I'm back. I heard the majority
But that was where I
on the call
interject.
center thing.
That's where I interjected. Is like the numbers weren't up. There was other things in place. I went to that department head and talked to him about it. And I says, hey man, I got an idea. Let's try this. Let's implement this. So we discussed it. It wasn't like, you're supposed to do this or micromanage him. I discussed it with them. Hey, let's get some ideas and figure out how we can turn this around from the numbers that I'm reading. And we did it together. And I like to do it that way because I want to teach these guys how to do things when I'm not around and make a decision when I'm not around, what tools they have to use to fix stuff, fix different numbers in the in the uh in the gamut, that makes any sense. So
So, do you feel that you micromanage only when you're having to put out a fire or to kind of boost people's energy? It's kind of that's how you use that?
I micromanage when I see problems with the numbers, or I see the numbers dropping. Maybe I'll let it drop for 3 weeks before I interject to see if a small trend happening or something. And then I'll just say, hey man, you've been looking at your numbers? Yeah, I haven't. What did you notice? Well, I noticed that our numbers dropped here, there, we have too many callbacks, or whatever it may be. How do we want to fix it? What are you thinking? And then he gives me his opinion. I'll give him mine. Hey, that's a great idea. I may say, let's move forward with that. What do you think? I try to keep it very open, like it's them making the decision, and it's really me coaching, but not telling them what to do.
Wes, I believe that what you're doing is not micromanaging. What I believe that you are actually engaging in is in proper managing. Like you're doing the follow up and asking, right, questions about the root cause of the problem or even just questioning the result, right? That is the job of the leader. So I think what you are doing is for periods of time, you don't do that. And then your production dips. And you're like, man, these people are not doing what they need to do because you're not doing what you need to do. You're not doing that constant conversation follow up at that level, right? That's kind of, I think, more of what you're doing because nothing that you told me tells me that that's micromanaging. That is managing. That is a function of being the leader. If you have a department head, maybe once a week, right? You're asking those questions in that way. Or even on a short conversation, you are adding one specific question that makes the person think or check a number or that you're, holding them accountable for an expectation, right? And sometimes in short spurts, but they have to happen. They have to happen, those questions.
If you remember correctly, I told you a story. We were having cleaning checks done. Now, when we do cleaning checks, let's say for furnaces, we do so many, and there's statistics that show like for 10 to 12 cleaning checks, you may get one new install. Our objective is to get installs, but we have to be have integrity and not try to sell a furnace that is not needed.
Mm-hmm.
But so we had it set up, a system that we had, and we had a guy assigned at the tech to go in there and do the cleaning checks. Well, after about 30 or 40 cleaning checks, we never got an install. And I let that go on for a bit. Potentially, I
Mm-hmm.
saw the numbers, but this was the idea of the manager of that division. Well, after like about 2.5 months, I went in and I says, "Hey man, when are you going to stop the insanity?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "What you're doing is not working. When is it going to change?" I says, you know, and I said, "What do you want to see happen?" He said, "Well, I'd like to see the phone ring and us get some installs." I said, "I agree. What you're doing, is it working?" "No, it's got to change then." And I think it's that guy just doesn't know how to get us in there. I think he's got communication problems. And it's not because he's, poor social skills or anything. It's just he's young, and he just needs training. So in the meantime, during slow times, I'd get a different guy out there that's got better people skills and can get us in there. And what they did is they made that change and things started happening. And the numbers went up, and then I had to stop bothering them. I only go in there and bother them when I see the numbers are reflecting poor results. So I used
Do you go and bother them? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
a question. You kind of got the perception of what I translated is that I do my job sometimes and then sometimes I'm overbearing. That wasn't what I was trying to portray, and maybe I'm doing that and I can't see that in myself, but I'm getting it from an outside view of yourself. What
No,
I'm saying is that when I look at
that's not what I meant.
okay,
It's not what I'm.
but what I'm saying is that I don't go and bother them if the numbers are looking decent. Keep
Yeah.
micromanaging.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah, I know, but I
clarified.
didn't mean that in any way, shape, or form you were overbearing. In fact, I was saying the opposite.
No,
I
I
was
know. That's
saying
what I'm
that.
saying. I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
I was the opposite, but the opposite was not seeing them enough. But I'm not seeing them enough when things are going good. I'm not going to go and get in their face and not get in their face, but I'm not going to be a presence and bring stress to a situation when it doesn't need to be. They're handling it fine. I'm managing that manager and his results are doing good. He's doing fine. I don't need to sit and hold his hand right now.
Got it. Yeah.
What? Give me your
We'll pick
opinion.
that. I did. So I'll give for the third time. What I'm saying is the proper behavior, the best behavior is that you are in constant contact with your people, good times or bad times. On good times, you're still there making sure that they are still vigilant, right? That they're still taking care of the little details. They're going above and beyond, right? So you have to be there and also to celebrate. So that's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes when we get to a certain level, I don't want to be involved on a day-to-day basis. And it's your right not to want to be involved on a day-to-day basis. You're tired or you're trying to move to different type of projects. But your business, your people still need those behaviors that you used to have when you were there, right? They need that part of your presence. So you have to bake into the operations someone doing those behaviors, a human, right? Checking often, celebrating, coaching, developing. So that's what I mean. It's not saying you're wrong or anything like that, but ideally, the same behaviors that you had when you were driving operationally your business, someone needs to take those activities and lead in the same way that you used to do. That's what I mean.
And I when I was asking you, you're a consultant, and I was wanting your professional opinion on how you consult others in this situation. You go to some other company. That's why I was, and I got your answer, and I understand, and I will reflect on myself and try to change things because I respect your opinion in this area. And
That would be $330. All right, so moving on. I have yesterday I had such
travel.
and travel, yeah, per diem, the whole thing. Yesterday I was getting a quote. Remember when we were on the phone and I said I have to talk to the electrician?
Yeah.
His name is Greg, and it's probably in his 50s, I guess. I don't know. So he's older. He's been doing it for a while. And we got to talk and we talked about the quote, kind of the work that actually needs to be done versus what everybody wanted to do. And then we start talking about his trade and his life and his perspective on the market, how he does business. And he told me this hilarious story because he was basically trying to tell me who he is as a person, right? Like how he does business, that he doesn't stiff people, but of course he doesn't like to be stiffed. Duh, right? Regular thing. But he went and gave an example, and he goes, because like the other week, I was helping somebody do something on a neighborhood that I had already done work in. Matter of fact, it was a neighborhood that a motherfucker owed me some bread. He hadn't given me my bread, and I had finished the project. And years ago, and they're talking about I think 2016 or something like that, a long time ago. I went and I called him and he ignored me, but I don't forget. So I saw him and I had my baseball bat in my car, but I was testing the water, so I went to him and I said, "Yo." He's like, hey. I said, yeah. Hey, whatever. What's up with my bread? Oh, I'm so sorry. No. Sorry, no. What's up with my bread? And then he went and collected his money right there, 6 or 7 or whatever, how many years later, right? And I mean, it sounds like a silly story, maybe not even funny, but when you think that you have a one individual that owns their own business, right? And they have to be collecting cash this way is dangerous. It's kind of, there's something to be said about that whole experience that these guys have to go. Like you have a whole structure that you can use to collect money from people. These guys don't.
It's really kind of funny. I got a similar story. One time I did a job for a bar and we did the work and the guy didn't pay me for over
Mhm.
2 years. And I ran into him at a Best Buy and he was loading up like two 70-inch TVs into his car for the bar. And I knew he owed me money, but that wasn't the thing. He was a familiar face and I just said, "Hey, how's it going?" He saw me, he turned absolutely white, pulled out his wallet, paid me on the spot, and put the TVs back. It was hilarious. I felt guilty, but he did owe me, and it was like $2,000 he owed me. So it was really kind of comical. And then he put the TVs back off the cart.
Oh, so he hadn't checked out yet. That's
Yeah, he hadn't checked out yet. I just went on, hey, how's it going? I forgot all about the money. I was greeting him as a friend, like, hey, how's it been? I haven't seen you. And I knew he owed me money, but that was the last thing on my mind. I was just greeting him as a friend because I always liked him as a person, though he didn't pay me. And then he looked at me and he turned totally white, pulled out his wallet. Here, man, I owe you this. And he rolled and put the TVs back and walked out.
that's fun.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
So I thought no, I was thinking as I was talking to him, I was thinking that he could be an interesting, like, no, really talking small business owner, but that, you know what I mean, that is in the trades in a typical Midwest American town. You know what I mean? Filling up his book of business one person at a time. You know what I mean? So I thought that is a very good, total different look, right? You don't need to have a college degree to have, a brand new, I think he has like not the Silverado, but the bigger one, right? The 250, 2500, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
nice too. You know what I mean? And you're doing well, you're doing, jobs and still in your hometown and things like that. So I think there's a lot to be said, and a couple of his stories were actually really funny. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Yeah, he's got a lifestyle business. Myself and you, we're trying to grow enterprises. There's nothing wrong with that business. Nothing at all. He wants to be himself. He wants his little world. That's a lifestyle business. It puts food on the table. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, me, that's not good enough for me because I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do the other thing. It's just different preferences in business structure and how you view it all. But I got a question for Keegan, if I may. Why did
Of
Keegan
course.
ask the question about micromanagement? What, how did that play out in your thought process that you had to ask that question? And what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, so Monday nights I'm part of a leadership group through my church, and it was about empowering the people around you and like giving up control and basically, yeah, as a leader, giving people delegating tasks around you. And so I was just looking up topics that kind of focused on that, and I know micromanaging kind of impacts that a lot. So yeah, that was just my thoughts on it. I know that I've had leaders who don't micromanage. I've had leaders that micromanage. And yeah, obviously, I mean, I prefer a leader who is there to empower, give up control, delegate, push me to grow in my career versus someone who's always looking over my shoulder and trying to put out, the fires when
Sure.
things go bad versus, I'm not sure how to do the screen sharing permission thing exactly on this new.
Why? What happened?
Can you request that again?
Oh yeah, I can. I stopped it because I was paying attention to your answer. So I'll request when you're finished.
Okay.
You're saying that you say that you like someone that delegates rather than a micromanager. That brings up something else to me too, is if you micromanage, you can't grow. There are enough hours in the day. You got to be able to delegate. You got to trust people. Otherwise, you cannot grow because your time is needed elsewhere to grow than it is to micromanage someone.
Now, there are many reasons why people don't delegate, right? Well, I think one of the reasons that I have is the reasons I don't delegate as well as I could is because I don't delegate enough.
Say that
Give us
again.
more. Why don't you delegate enough?
Because I think that my instructions about what I'm trying to give for a task or something are going to generate more work and I still need to fine tune. So sometimes I prevent the people that are collaborating with me from, trying new things and making that first mistake. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't give them enough time because I'm trying to really prepare that perfect set of instructions that will allow them to turn my vision into reality type of thing, right? Versus saying, hey, this is my vision. I trust you. I think if you take these steps, we'll get you there quicker, but do your thing, right? So instead of doing that quicker, and I'm trying to be quicker at that. That's why I said, in my case, one of the reasons is because I failed to delegate enough. Therefore, I can't get better at delegating in the first place. It's not the only reason that people don't fail to delegate well, right? There are other reasons, right? So,
Well,
yeah.
one of the reasons is lack of trust of the other person. You know,
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I feel I do absolutely nothing all day. Hear me out. Or I could say, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And the reason why I feel like I'm not doing enough, because I delegate everything. I don't do anything really. I delegate it. If I need a letter written, hey man, I need a letter written. Maybe I'll write something down in paper. Here, type this up kind of thing. Or, hey, I need business cards for this guy or that guy, or have someone else do it. I don't do anything. I delegate everything. And I know that
Hold on. When was the last time that you went out to bid a job?
it's been a long time. However,
That's not a time.
hear me out.
When was the last time?
Well, I was
I will
going to,
hear you out. Just give
okay,
me my answer first.
I'm going to say about 4 years.
Excuse me?
Yeah, 4 years. But Saturday. I was trying to explain. 4 years, but Saturday. I actually took the phones this weekend because there was a glitch in our situation. So I took the phones. One gentleman called in and I I couldn't speak in layman terms for him to understand me to get the answers I needed. So I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang up the phone. Give me your name and address. I'm coming over there right now and looking at it for you. So I did that. So yeah, this weekend I did it. But before that, it was about 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, did you get the job?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he loved me. Of course he did.
100% closing on the year.
It's like, it's like,
Even
yes,
upsold him.
100%.
Even upsold him.
You,
Ups.
you did?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. You know what happened? The guy felt, you know what? This guy's thinking. The owner came out to my house on a Saturday and checked me and took care of me.
Easter weekend.
Easter weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was the Easter weekend.
Yeah, so I just ran over to
Some people would have looked at that. Oh man, he felt. That's why he bought it. He felt sorry for you. He was like, man, he must really be in trouble. The owner's working on Easter weekend. Let me throw him some work.
That wasn't it at all. I answered the phone. I just dealt with it. He didn't know I was the owner until I got there. And he says, hey, man, you're the guy on the side of the trucks. Yeah.
And I live in the trucks too.
No, the company truck's got my face on it. I took my personal vehicle there.
Oh my
But he
goodness.
saw my face on the side of trucks other times from mental branding and recognized my face, put it that way.
I'm having
That's an
too much fun.
interesting question. That's kind of a side topic maybe how did you decide to do your face branding versus like a company logo on your trucks? Because
I can answer that for him.
we
Yeah,
have a
okay, let's see
similar
what you
thing
got
here
to
in
say.
Minnesota with like Hero Plumbing and Cooling. It's probably a similar to your Building Waters. They have like their owner's face on the side of the trucks, and they're everywhere.
So you're going to answer,
No, I'm
Jay?
gonna leave it alone.
Okay,
Maybe it's
so
a
what
different
happened
day
was
topic.
I hired a marketing company, and I was
Uh-huh.
trying to, grow. And we wanted to, and I always thought that, I want to be on TV because TV works. So we started doing some commercials. And they said, we want your name on the side of the trucks too. So it all ties in with the TV commercials. So they're seeing me, oh, there's that guy that was on TV driving down the road. You know what I mean? And I do this one thing on every commercial. I was going, we're your one-stop shop, baby. One-stop shop. So they got a picture. I know Jay thinks it's corny as hell, but that's
Yes, it
okay.
is. It works. If it
But
works,
it works. Yeah. I don't, you
Yeah.
can belittle it all as you want as I'm putting money in the banks. Anyways, it's me on the side of the trucks like this too.
Yeah.
Making a little thing. So it all tied it together. I'm the brand ambassador for my name. I started this company and I grew it to like $5 million because people knew me and they knew the quality work I did and that I was genuine, I was honest, and that resonated with a lot of people. So that's why I did it. I also do a question and answer article in our local newspaper, local newspapers, and my face is on the ad as well. So it all kind of ties together. Is why you know what? I really didn't want my face and stuff on the side of trucks, but if I'm throwing good money at a marketing company, they're supposed to know marketing better than I do. I'm supposed to know plumbing better than they do. And they said they wanted it on there. And I was really apprehensive. I was so afraid that my trucks were going to be parked, let's say, on some path from some high school. And these kids come walking past and they draw me eating a big wiener or something with a black marker on the side of the truck was my fear, or making a big mustache, or you know what I'm saying? So that was a risk. And that was what I was afraid of. So I really didn't want to do it. I did it strictly on the end of my marketing team. I have to trust them too. I paying them money. Why wouldn't I pay the money and say, no, hey, we ain't doing that. I'm going to run the show here. Well, then why was I spending the money in the first place? They supposedly know better than me about their craft than I know about their craft, as well as I know better about my craft than they do. If I were to go to their house, for example, and say, you know what? Your furnace is 25 years old and I'm getting goofy readings. I strongly suggest you replace it. I would think that them hiring me because I know that craft,
I'm
they would
getting,
take
I'm getting.
I'm getting goofy readings. Anyways, that I would figure that knowing my craft, they would take my professional advice because they're paying me to go in there and give them, give them my knowledge, as well as me hiring a marketing team and got to trust them. I'm paying them. I got to trust them. And if it don't work, we can always, end the relationship, but I got to trust them initially. So that's how I kind of got my face on the side of trucks. It never was originally. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I like that story. You tied it back to delegating with, your marketing teams knows marketing, plumbing, and you delegated that task off to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to trust them.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm paying them, you know? So that's how that played out. But I seem to delegate everything. And I was driving around yesterday thinking the same thing. I was driving around and I delegated something off and I delegated something off. And then I was thinking to myself, I pay for everyone to do something in my business. I pay everyone because I delegate everything. I have to pay for everything. And I thought, man, I throw a lot of money out delegating, but apparently we're making the money to do these things, you know, um, for me to delegate. Years ago when Jay and I did a project together, Jay, I wasn't delegating everything, was I? I was very much involved. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
But if we want to grow, I have to get out of the way and let these people grow themselves, that I'm delegating work to. So that's the key, is that grow these people so you don't have to be involved. That's what every business owner wants, but you cannot grow unless you cannot grow.
Well, it's different. It's different. Hold on, let me just
Yeah.
clarify a little bit because I like this topic a little bit more. But it's a matter of being at the stage that your company is in, right? At the beginning stages, you're a builder and an operator, and you're just doing everything, and then you start shedding some of those hats, some of those roles, right? So Wesley, 5 years ago, he needed to shed that. I'm gonna go and do every quote and put the hat of I am going to show and teach every department head how to estimate and provide quotes that give the entire organization a chance to win. So that was the hat that I had to first and foremost show Wes, as my client did, existed, right? Hey, this is also something that needs to happen. Then show him you already doing this, you have the capability to teach, and then it was on him to go ahead and start doing that piece. So it's a constant shift into what hat are you wearing. Some hats you wear for longer, some hats are heavier, some hats are more fun, right? When you get to wear the hat as Wes of a propaganda guy, right? You have to be on the side of your truck. That's also a hat. Is a hat that makes me think that he's corny, but not because he's corny, but because I'm too embarrassed if somebody asks me to put my face on the side of a truck, my company being mine or not, I would say absolutely motherfucking not. My face is not going to be in the side of no truck. Not because I'm smart, but because it's an insecurity of mine. And that's my 5 cents.
Yeah, I agree. It was corny. I was like sheepish about it, Yeah, my name is my face on a truck. Like I said, I was a little afraid. And then I backed up and I thought, I'm paying these people, they're professionals. I got to follow their lead. So I did. See, you just cut the legs off of your marketing team by not taking their advice on how they want to grow you, which you hired them to help you grow. You took away their legs to be successful because that was their plan. That was their idea to grow your business, and you cut it off by saying, "Well, I'm not putting my mother effing naming a face isn't going to be on the truck.
Yeah, Jay.
I would have done that. However, it was a hypothetical thing because I put myself in your shoes if somebody had asked me that. No one has ever asked me to do that. Now, what else I was going to tell you? You mentioned when we were talking about Greg, the electrician, you said Greg has a lifestyle business and you and I are trying to build enterprises. What's the difference? It's not the difference. What is a lifestyle business for you?
A lifestyle business is it supports that gentleman's lifestyle, whatever that may be. He can make his mortgage payment. He got a 250 truck. He's got some new tools. He's got a jet ski and a little place on a lake to vacation, maybe, and he's content. He doesn't want to go any further. He doesn't want to get any bigger. Too much headache, too much time away from my free time. I'm cool with where we're at. We're only going to have ever three electricians. I'm not going to try to grow it to 17. I'm just going to have 3 electricians because it's supporting my lifestyle and I'm content. It's someone who's content without growing and it just supports their lifestyle. Where me, I'm not content with it just supporting my lifestyle. I'm looking at it as I'm trying to build my business and grow it really large for my reason, my personal reason alone, is that I would like when I finally decide to sell off the businesses or whatever, that there's money in the bank for when I'm retired. I can do what I have the lifestyle I want when I retire, going on a couple, going on maybe, let's just say 10 vacations a year, that they're paid for with no pain and agony. I can support myself with my home. I buy a new vehicle if I want to, but I can throw money at one of my kids in the event that there's an emergency. Not that a lifestyle business can't do that, but I was I was thinking more of capturing this big pool of money for when I'm retired and I'm not bringing an income in. So I'm trying to grow my retirement with cash. So that's the way I think.
Okay.
Do we identify lifestyle,
Well,
business,
thank you.
and
The reason,
enterprise?
so no, I was just asking what it was, but also because I published our website finally, so the CEO's grind. So that's on the screen. Do you see that?
Yeah. I was hearing that phone ring and it was ringing too much for me. And I was getting ready to answer one. What were we saying now? Business, economy, politics, lifestyle is the CEO grind.
So that's the new website, and then it goes down. You have your something something baby. You know that little picture of yours?
Yeah. Yeah, it's corny, man, but
Trademark.
you know what? It works. You know,
No, that's fine.
I've gotten so many people, and we also have a jingle that we play in the song, in the commercials. And you don't know how many people come up to me and say, my kids, they see one of those trucks that taking them to soccer practice and a friend to soccer practice. And the kids start singing the song from the TV. Hey, there's one of the building. And they start singing the song. It happens all the time, you know? And now the kids are singing the song because they saw the commercials on TV, seeing our trucks with me like this on the side of the truck kind of thing. Yeah, it's corny, but it gets people looking at it. And then the parents are like, what? What's going on? Oh, yeah, that's the truck from that commercial. It's bringing brand
Wes,
awareness.
I'm feeling some type of defensiveness. I said first. I don't even think I said corny. You said I thought was corny. I agreed, but I really didn't say it. But anyways, I put the picture because I knew you liked it. There you go. You have the corny
I didn't
pictures
say I
there.
liked it. I didn't say I liked it.
I think we take it to the next level,
What's the
What's
next
that?
level?
like YouTube advertisement or something where
Right. Oh, I don't think that he doesn't have it. We need to. He has those. Yeah, you can go to buildingwaters.com. They are a little buried in there, but they're there.
You can
They're
find them.
there.
Yeah, and there's a some sort of an
But Wes,
index to find them. Go ahead.
yeah. So this is our page, right? And I'll change the buttons here, but you have the episodes would be sort of like this inside, and when you click, oh, I even have a pop-up.
That
See, now we want to hear from you. If you had unlimited cash, what problem would you fix? Have a guest you want to see on the CEO's grind? Tell us why. Want to comment on what Lisa shared? Drop her thoughts below or on the YouTube episode, so they can click, and then it goes to that episode, right?
Yeah.
Or they could just click out and then see the narrative of the episode, some detail about the guest, some interesting quote about you know, that she said in the episode. When we asked her if she had unlimited resources, she said, "Hey, I would change how the world sees the people who are called to serve. I want to rewrite how we view caregivers, public servants, educators, etc." Then, of course, the video. And then if she's hiring, because I know she is, but you put the thing connect on LinkedIn, that it would go directly to her website if this button was working, which apparently is not. So, gotta make sure that the button works. Let me see.
Can we go up a little further with her big picture?
There you go. So that goes to her LinkedIn, right? Where people can get in touch with her.
What?
Hold on a second. What'd you say?
Let's go back to where it's on that web page. Yep, right there. So can we? I'm only seeing a portion of what's being shown to me right now. But your business should be sellable, not just here. Could we give this area? We're brainstorming here. Could we give this area maybe a title? Now the next guest gets the same title, like showcasing business owner Lisa Thames, like or the hot topic Lisa Thames, or some kind of title that we put on every time we have a guest. You see what I'm saying? This is beautiful. I like it. But scroll up a little bit further. Up, the other way. The further. Is this the top?
This is the top.
CEO grind showcases Lisa Thames, and then have this, or give it a title of some. I said showcase, but it could be another name, and then every time that we get a guest, then we showcase them and then have that come up. What's your thoughts? You guys like that idea? Bad idea? Am I
Gosh, you're
overthinking
talking
it?
about. I'm so sorry.
Talk about the structure of the page.
You're not. I got you. No, so the page was done for the structure, right? So this would be the post, right? This is a post episode because it has the whole narrative. But the pre-episode is what we can use to do what you're saying. So during the episode, you can actually show that on the pre. I see what you're saying. We can definitely do that.
But give her a little more kudos, like CEO. I'm not saying CEO of the year, but us.
Yeah.
Give
So
her a
there
little
is
more
something else that
kudos.
I did. Yeah. So, but here it's just you're not. Yeah, I got you, Wes. Outstanding.
And
Sit there
maybe,
and yes.
and then maybe what we do is always have that same line, like, um,
I haven't finished on the page. Wes, stop.
okay.
What are you doing?
No, the thing is, because I know it's a problem right at the beginning. That's why I stopped.
Is it a problem? Is it a
I'm
problem?
asking, and I want to discuss it with you two. I think that we should give it a
Sure.
title of a showcase, like Employee of the Month kind of thing. But it's for our webpage that we highlight. CEO Grind highlights Lisa Thames, and then we go into all this. CEO Grind highlights Keegan Rosette, because we had an interview with him. Then he comes up first on that day or the days after him. And then Lisa's, of course, we'd scroll down and we highlight Lisa Thames. You know what I'm saying? CO Grind highlights, or I don't know, gives tribute to Lisa Thames. CO Grind gives tribute to Lisa Thames, and then we go into her whole deal. At the beginning, at the top, for your title. Just, I'm asking, I'm looking for input. Your opinions on that. I know it's already made. Maybe you don't want to touch it again. I don't know. But your thoughts, Keegan?
Okay. So first
Right
you
there.
have a hero. First you have a hero portion. Then you have the narrative of the episode. Then you have the block that talks about the person that says meet the CEO's guest, which that's what it talks. So it needs better breaks into the page or how it flows. This quote here, I don't want followers, I want executors, that is in her page. And this is, I wanted a second picture that would exemplify something that she wants to. I don't have it, so I was working with this to make the blocks, right? That's what we're trying to do. Then something interesting from the episode, like I mentioned, the episode itself, if one of her things was she was looking for what? Better admins, people to help her out. So a call out that people can get in touch if they like what she's doing and, whatever. Then things that came from the episode if people want to find out more. So there was a couple things that you guys talked about. She talked about the book Rocket Fuel. You talked about the rabbit hole. And I think there was Start With Why. And you even had another book. So I could put even more sections in here that people can get their hands on it. Then is what we took away from the conversation. It has a quote from you, a quote from me, a quote from Keegan. A little bit more of the episode, another quote, and that's it. But all these sections, they are interchangeable and they can be created, right, and used as a template for the next episode. The goal here is to build the system that we can easily iterate. I think that your idea of making something in the forefront or a series, right, our guest series, our, lifestyle business owners or CEO series, I think those are all fantastic ideas that will be a natural evolution of this.
Well, I guess where I was going with this, and now after you've talked a little bit, it helped me clarify the way I want to deliver my message. I'm saying the CEO podcast, yes, we have this structure. Do we, as the CEO podcast, do we want to add a section that's always there? Like, for example, on a radio station, they may have, okay, right now it's 9:00. We're doing the one question line. And we know that it's the one question line, always at 9:00. That's what that radio station does. Or every Saturday morning, we have the Ask Gus section. Do we, in our hero section of this, I love it. I think the whole thing is wonderful. I'm saying this is something that is titled in every one of our CEO grind, like title, like we're giving true real American heroes. And then we have this one. And we have that. Now, the next guest, the real American hero is this guest. I use the real American hero. I don't know what those words should be. Like our hero this week is.
Wes, I understood. I don't. You're now describing water for the fourth time.
Well, I'm not getting any responses. So,
but I had already agreed. This was like a show. We got up to a next level, right? There are going to be more iterations. This is not a. It is not something that is not flexible, or the iteration would cost a lot of money or a lot of time. But it is a template that can be built upon and be retroactive, meaning, and was really the reason why I wanted to bring that up, is that now we can take that Jan episode and put in the same sort of format, right? Giving the same feel for it. Because there were things in that episode, although the quality wasn't really good of the recording, etc., that were worthwhile putting up there and reposting, etc. That's the idea.
Okay.
Anything else? It is 9:59. We're testing this Riverside today. We talked about micromanaging. We actually took a look at the CEO's Grind podcast and how we're going to feature our CEO's guests. Wes had a couple interesting ideas. Either he had trouble communicating or I had trouble understanding, but either way, I think we're good. It is Wednesday, so we'll see each other on Friday. Any last comments?
No, I'm good. Wish you well in your endeavors for the next 2 days till we meet again.
Subscribe at the bottom, comment, comment on Wesley's crazy ideas. So I'd love those.
This isn't
I'd love
crazy,
those.
man. I'm telling you, it's not crazy. I was just thinking that it could always be something in.
I said it in the plural, not that was the one crazy idea. I said many, multiple. They can
Okay.
comment on any one of the multiple. Anyone.
Okay. You guys have a good day. We'll see you on Friday. Take care, Keegan. Bye.